All right, so this is Home from 2015. It's directed by Tim Johnson. I've heard things about this movie ever since it came out, and I was like, "Wow, this sounds weird." I want to watch this and review it at some point, and that some point is now because I saw it was on Netflix. I was like, "Okay, perfect timing." So I watched it yesterday. Yes, this is a weird movie. So the aliens in this, the Boov, they're these little colorful, cute aliens in this. They run away a lot, and they run away from the Gorg. So they go from planet to planet running away. The Gorg catches up with them. They go to another planet, stuff like that. But they don't go to empty planets where there are no living beings there. They take over planets where there are living beings already there. Just relocate them and take it over. And that's what they're doing in this to Earth. They forcibly relocate the humans to this other area and then just take over the rest of the planet. It's really crazy. So our main boof in here, O, played by Jim Parsons, he is an outcast, right? I mean, his name is O because whenever he comes around, they're like, oh, they're upset about it. Nobody likes him.
Good morning.
Oh.
Hi, guys.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh.
But he wants to have a housewarming party now that he's moved into his new home. So he invites people into, to his party, into his home. But nobody wants to go. Everybody's hiding from him and things like that. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna go invite this other boo. He directs traffic, so he can't hide, he can't run away, nothing. And he tries to send an email to him so he knows to, how to get to his place and things like that. And he ends up sending an email to the entire galaxy. It's really dumb. And so that email is going to potentially get to the Gorn, and that would be a problem. So the rest of the Boov realize it. The leader of the Boov, Captain Smek, played by Steve Martin, he's the one that's like, "Hey, get after him." So now O's on the run. Their plan is to get him, not only punish him, but to get his password and things like that, so they can cancel the email before it gets to the Gorg. So then the Gorg won't end up coming to Earth. While that's happening, we have Gratuity or Tip Tucci, played by Rihanna. She is a human girl who wasn't taken and brought to this other area with the rest of the humans and with her mom. Her mom was taken, but she wasn't. So now she really wants to save her mom. She's lonely and everything like she wants to save her mom. So her and O end up coming across each other and deciding to go on this journey together to potentially save her mom. So before we get to the negative stuff, the concentration camps, stuff like that, there's stuff I like about this. I like the overall look of it, right? It's colorful and everything. It's definitely got a fun look to it. I think it works for a kids movie. Also, I like the way the boobs look. I like the boobs design, right? There's some creative stuff going on with the boobs where they change colors and things like that. They even vibrate at times. There's a point where the cat was on top of O's head purring and his head was like vibrating. There's a point where Gratuity kicks him, and his like, you can see it on his face. So I like the move. Oh, right. Not only is O, I think, the best character in here, but also performance wise, I think Steve Martin I thought was good too. But Jim Parsons easily the best performance in there. But I expected to not like O. I usually don't like characters like this. I usually find them annoying, but I actually like O in this. I liked him. He was likable, and his relationship with Gratuity that forms in this, I thought was good. Gratuity is a terrible name. When they first say it, her name's Gratuity. I didn't hear it or I didn't understand it. So she's like, "Oh, my nickname's Tip," and I was like, "Okay, Tip, well, whatever." Then later on, he says her name, Gratuity, and I was like, "Gratuity, like a tip?" And I was like, "Oh, that's where Tip comes from. That's really dumb, right? Your mom named you Gratuity. What kind of nonsense is that?" But whatever. I like the relationship. Right? There's some emotionally manipulative, cheap stuff going on, and we'll get to that. But I did like the relationship, right? I did. There's some jokes that don't really work, that aren't all that funny. She's teaching him how to do a knock knock joke. Not all that funny. There's one point in the movie that I legitimately laughed at because it caught me off guard, and it's not with those two. It was with the Captain Smack character. It caught me off guard, and I was actually laughing at it.
There is a tiny problem.
How tiny? As long as it's tiny, who cares?
Well, before I got the password, I erased him.
There is a point in this movie that did actually get to me emotionally. It's towards the end, when the Gorg show up. They deal with the email and all that. The Gorg still shows up, and of course, the Boos, they're trying to run away, get sucked up into their spaceship and everything. Um, and he's been trying to get out of his Boov nature over the course of this time with gratuity, but he's like, man, I got to get out of here. But he actually tries to take her with him because he actually cares about her after they've spent this time together. And she's like, no, I'm not leaving. He tries to lie to her to get her on the ship. I'm like, nah. She's like, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving my mom. I'm not leaving my family. And so they split off, and he just can't help himself. He feels like he needs to run. And so he goes up to the spaceship and actually leaves her. And wow, I was like, that's actually sad. That actually got to me emotionally because you actually earned this emotional moment, which the other emotional moments feel real cheap. So let's get to the bad stuff here. Let's start off with something a little bit small. Get to the elephant in the room and and stuff like that next. But um, they clearly put way more time and effort into the booth in this when it comes to their designs. I mean, because the humans the humans, man, like they're barely in this, so it's like whatever. You see them get taken in the beginning, see them later on. You see the mom in some flashbacks and stuff, and then at the end, you mostly see gratuity, but the humans look so bad, like uncanny. It's like I'm watching Monster House or something like that, or Mars Needs Moms or something. I mean, they were uncanny to me. I mean, they have these big heads, big eyes. Their eyes are on like opposite sides of their heads. They're too far apart. It just really threw me off looking at these humans in this. There's a point. There's a point where O and Gratuity are talking to each other in the car, and it's going back and forth between them, stuff like this, close up on them during this as it's going back and forth as they're having this conversation. And I was like, you need to back up. You need to back up off her because I can't deal with this. I can't take this. You're killing me here. I mean, this shit is too uncanny for me, man. This is nightmare fuel. Also, along with the designs lacking for the humans, the performance of our main human is lacking too. Rihanna is not very good in this, right? I actually say she's pretty bad most of the time. She sounds like stiff and awkward in her delivery, and she never sounds like a kid. Never. It doesn't seem like she's putting any effort in to sound like a kid. It just doesn't work at all. But hey, you got some songs out of her. It's Rihanna, she's a big star, and you got these original songs out of her for the soundtrack. I looked it up. She has like three original songs for the soundtrack. There's only one that I really noticed, and it's because it comes up multiple times. Uh, Dancing in the Dark or whatever it is. Um, where you got the Booth don't dance. O doesn't dance, but he can't help but shake that booty when Gratuity puts on this song. I was like, bruh, okay, you got this character putting on Rihanna's song for him to dance. It's like, okay, all right, whatever. Let's get to the big stuff here. So I had heard for years, right, ever since this movie came out, that this is a concentration camp movie for kids. And you hear that, and you're like, that's crazy, whatever, right? You almost don't believe it, but then I watched this yesterday, and I'm like, this is a concentration camp movie for kids. It is crazy. They show up to the Earth. This is right at the beginning of the movie. I think this is like the first like 10 minutes or something like that. He's like, they do it so easily and so quick, right? They just go to the Earth, right? They start using these bubbles, and the bubbles pop, and they like create holes in the house in the houses, and then they just suck the humans up and take them away. Right? They're like, oh, this is a forceful relocation. I'm like, God dang! Just because you're being nice about it, I don't make it okay. It's like, how did they not know what they were doing? Right? Why is this in a kids movie? Why is this in the movie? It's like, it's crazy. That's the movie starts too. Right? It's crazy. They bring them to this place, and they have, because it has to be, concentration camps with a smile. Um, they bring them over to this place, and there's like rides, and there's like ice cream and stuff. Of course, the kids are like, "Yay!" But the parents are like, "Wait a minute, I live here now? Oh hell no!" But like the big thing is like, okay, this is a kids movie. You don't have this in here. the big thing is the reason why you don't have this in this silly ass dumb kids movie is because there's no way in this movie you're going to actually address this. And they don't, right? They really don't. They do it so easy. In an alien invasion movie, what do you usually see? Usually see like the US government, usually see the president having to deal with it and talk to generals or whatever. They want to nuke the spaceship, whatever they want to do. Right? Usually you see world leaders. It's like, where are these world leaders? Where's the president? Where's the UN? Like, it's like that, it's like they don't exist. It's like the president doesn't exist. They don't do anything with that. Where there would be any pushback against this happening, right? You really only see, like I said, the parents that were like, I live here now. And then there's points where Gratuity talks to O, and she's like, well, you did this, you took away my mom and things like that. You guys did this. And then when the booth are about to leave, the humans in this area are like, yeah, get out of here, whatever. They got signs. That's about it. It's like, okay, you did this very heavy thing with a lot of weight to it, where it's like, why is this in a kids movie? And then it's like, well, this is a silly dumb kids movie, so it's like, yeah, we have it here, but we're not gonna do anything with it. Are you kidding me? What? You know this movie? You know what movie this is? It's just like it's really weird. It's really strange. Like it's like they didn't know. It's like there's no way. I'm sorry. It's like they didn't know the way that it plays out, but there's no way they don't know. There's no way the email, the dreaded email. So this email thing makes absolutely no sense. Obviously, O wants to invite people to his housewarming party and everything like that. They're really weird when it comes to O because he's an outcast, but he but he still doesn't dance and like he's like ashamed of himself for dancing and stuff like that. I feel like it's like okay, if he's an outcast, he should be doing all the things naturally, doing all the things that the Boos don't do, but he still falls in line with the Boos. He just wants to have a party and messes things up. It's like, okay. Like for him to be the outcast, they don't really do like enough to really sell you on that. But obviously he wants to invite people over to his party, right? He's got like a plate with like toilet paper and like nuts or nuts and bolts in it or whatever. It's like when it comes to what they eat, it's just like, okay, they eat whatever like people don't eat, I guess. When big stuff that people don't eat, that's food for them, I guess. But anyway, he wants to invite this booth that directs traffic. He wants to invite him to the party. And he tries to send him an email. These aliens have email. They have emails. They send emails to each other. Somehow he sends the email to the entire galaxy. And it's like that is really, really far fetched and dumb. How are you just able to send emails to the entire galaxy? Like how? But then he was giving the guy, this other booth, directions to his place so that he would go to his party. But when you see the email, he's giving directions to the planet? It doesn't make sense at all.
You are all invited to a party. Just head to the Milky Way. Turn right at the Big Dipper. Third planet from the sun. Look for my balloons. Hurry!
Then they have this whole thing where they have to get his password. He's the only boob with a unique password. Everybody else's password is password. So there's really no reason for anybody to even have a password. Whatever. That's silly, like kids movie stuff. But they have to get him get in because they have to get him and find out his password. When they can't get him, they're like, "Oh, we got our smartest boos to try to guess his password." They can't do it. They have like a race against time in this movie. They have like a time limit, even when it gets canceled because O and Gratuity actually get to like the main area for the booth, and he's able to put in his password and cancel it. The email got to the Gorg. Like the Gorg actually had the email, but they canceled it right at the last minute, and so it just disappears on his little console or whatever. It's like, come on, right? He got the email. Like, whatever. And then after all that stuff with the email, the Gorgs show up anyway. They show up anyway. So it feels like you just wasted the audience's time with that really dumb plot point. The emotional stuff in this. Oh my God, they really want you to feel something, man. Like the it's real sad. Nobody will show up to his party, and oh, he's so lonely and everything like that. Oh, Gratuity, she was lonely, and she misses her mom and things like that. It was hard for her to fit in school because they moved there or something like that, and she really misses her mom or whatever. We already get that with the characters, but there's a point where they just spill their guts to each other. They just start giving each other their sad backstories, and it's like I don't think this is needed. I really don't. You have this thing. This is after O becomes the new leader of the move. They get rid of Smack or whatever. He becomes the new leader, and they come back to Earth, and he's gonna help Gratuity find her mom. She has this thing that will point her to her mom, and it's like, oh no, will she meet her mom? It's like, of course she will. Her mom's not dead. They didn't take her with her, or take the mom with her on the ship, and she has something that's leading her right to her. But they really want to milk that for some feelings too. And then when the Gorg show up, and O's gonna actually talk to the Gorg and try to smooth things over. Because this all started because Smack ran away and took a rock when they were supposed to be having a peace treaty with the Gorg a long time ago. So whatever. O's gonna try to give the rock back and negotiate. He like breaks off the key in the car and leaves the mom and Gratuity in the car, basically being like, "I'm gonna sacrifice myself." It's like, really? Why? Why? That does not fit this movie at all. And then we gotta we gotta have a fake out death, right? A lame, cheap ass fake out death where it looks like O gets ran over by the Gorg ship. It looks like it, but he was right in the space underneath it to where he's okay. I was like, bro, that in this movie, ain't nobody gonna die, right? You're not fooling anybody. That was completely unnecessary. They really, really try to make you feel something. Like I said, with that piece of it, with O having to or feeling like he needs to leave Gratuity behind and get on a spaceship and all that. I felt that. These other emotional moments feel cheap, manipulative, unearned. Really, really unearned. Um, and with this thing, the Gorg show up, and then I was like, okay, the rock that they have, that the Gorg, that Smack took from the Gorg, probably has a tracker in it or something, and that's how they keep finding them and still found them with the email and things. Why the Gorg was just sitting around during that time, potentially going to get the email, whatever. But it turns out that there's only one Gorg, right? And I guess the other ships were like unmanned, but um, the Gorg, there's only one Gorg, and inside of the rock is their next generation, right? Like inside the rock. So without that, when that Gorg dies, the Gorg will just die off, and that's why they wanted the rock so bad. I was like, wow, like this would have been a lot more interesting in a better movie. This would have been a good ending or a good, backstory for the other aliens that have been coming up after them all this time. If this was a better movie, if it wasn't such a dumb movie with dumb emails and all that stuff, that could have worked in another movie. Oh, and Gratuity, they have a good relationship with each other. It's a colorful movie. It's fun at times. So, without the concentration camp and like the story stuff that's like really like stupid, I would probably still say the movie was okay because it's a kids movie anyway. But with the concentration camps and things like that don't work in the movie, I'll give it a rental. Like I gotta give it a rental. I can't give it any higher than that. Um, but yeah, that's home. It's not good. It's not good, but it's at least watchable. And honestly, with this being on Netflix, you kind of have to at least see the first 10 minutes of this movie for yourself to believe them. Like it's like to believe how this movie starts and the premise of this thing.